Welcome to This Week in BJJ, the only show running the gamut of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and running it live every Friday night.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This Week in BJJ. Today is November 9th, 2012. I'm Budo Jake, joined as usual with Budo Dane and Shawn Williams. You guys recovered from the NoGi Worlds marathon?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I slept Monday to make sure, like all day. I was like, I got to be ready by Friday. So for you guys, I sacrificed and slept a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's a long weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine working a normal job, construction for 20 hours on a weekend. But when you're there just talking about the sport that we love, it goes by so fast.
Couldn't agree more. I said today when I was training, I said, man, I think I would rather train, get tapped every single day, and just get destroyed every day in training rather than work a 9-to-5 job and like make $1 million a year.
Right.
Just couldn't do it.
Now, after a 20 hours or more of jiu-jitsu that we saw on the weekend, do you come back more excited to train or do you feel overwhelmed by it?
I have to actually walk out of the fog a little bit. I think the first couple of days I'm just recovering, and then I start training, and then I'm thinking about the things that I saw and the things that I want to address. Not necessarily in my game, but see what that situation was about when you're training. I don't know about you guys.
I get fired up all the time, so I like to get right back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From moment zero, just get back into it.
Yes. Yeah, it fires me up.
Yeah,
like a sandwich fires you up.
yeah. Trying to have those fire me up less these days than the training. Yeah, but seeing the guys go after it gets me excited. Yeah, it's awesome.
Was there anything that you saw that you wanted to practice on, work on at the academy?
I didn't see a lot of new or hey man, I want to try that this tournament. I saw a lot of solid stuff, but just the whole environment makes me excited.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're going to get more into the NoGi Worlds, and we're going to break down a lot of the matches a little later on in the show, but we've got a couple news items to talk about. So let's go to the news. Speaking of news, what do you think of these new glasses?
These are awesome.
No more
cool.
plastic cups. We got
super
the
cool.
real deal here. I don't think these are for sale, but come on the show and you can have them, right?
Super cool.
Emails. So our friends Brandon at GiReviews.net has released an ebook, or more appropriately, a gi book, that is 50 pages detailing pretty much everything you'd want to know about buying a gi. It goes through, I was just skimming through it. It goes through what type of gi types, what the different weaves are, reputable companies to buy from. And one of the things that really struck me early on is, I've bought a few gis, but for someone that's just getting into the sport, it would be really nice to have this completely free. By the way, all you have to do is sign up for the email list to get it. It'd be really cool to have this resource so that when you're going to buy your first or your second gi, you at least have some guidelines and you know what you're reading. Because I don't know about you guys, but at the academy, especially with newer students, you explain the difference between gold or pearl weaves or things like that is always...
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming for the new student. I think, guys like us who've been training for a while, we know everything about all the gis, but to a brand new guy, they're sometimes looking at $150, $200 to spend on a gi, and it's a considerable price point, and they want to make sure they make the right decision.
And my old advice used to be, what a lot of guys do is find a gi brand they like or a fit they like and just stick with it, but that's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, and one guy's favorite gi might not work for somebody else.
Right.
Do you remember when you bought your first jiu-jitsu gi, Shawn?
Yeah, actually, I remember my first jiu-jitsu gi because when I went to Hensel's, I was just a kid, I was kind of a kid and just started college and had no money, and I had one of those cheap judo gis, and that's all I had. The first jiu-jitsu gi I had, it was a gift from Hensel, and it was a tigre. And I wore that thing. I don't know if it was, the gi was actually really nice. At least it fit me really well. But I wore that thing until it was just like shreds hanging off. Yeah. So that was my first one. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to trash any brands, but I remember the first two gis I got on recommendations from other people, and I hated them. And it just didn't fit me well at all. It wasn't comfortable. But, there were other people's favorites. So
I think that's a rite of passage in a way, that you go on a gi recommendation, you're like, nope, not even close.
Right.
Yeah, they're different. They're really different. Everybody's body type fits their gi differently, and yeah, it's a big difference on the gis.
Yeah. Of course, it's best if you can come into a store like ours where you can try everything on and see what actually works. But if you can't do that, this ebook has great tips for if you're tall and thin, if you're short and stocky.
Also, it's worth noting a bunch of pictures of gis to kind of give you visual reference, especially if you're kind of newer to buying or purchasing or looking at gis.
Yep.
And some mentions of brands, some actual reviews, and saying, you know, these are what I like. These are what these gis are like and how they fit. Which is, you know, any sort of guidance if it's going to be, you know, if you don't have a solid guideline for what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get that ebook where?
At gireviews.net. Just spell it out or Google it. You'll find it.
Nice.
One of the news topic we need to talk about, and that is the IBJJF Black Belt Pro League. This is going to be the next event that we do a live broadcast. It's going to be on December 8th, and there's a lot of confusion about how the event is laid out. I want to try to clarify that a little bit. There are 8 weight classes in Jiu-Jitsu. They're combined 2 weight classes per division. So, for example, Rooster and Light Feather are the 2 smallest divisions. Those are combined, and there's going to be 8 guys in that division. 2 of them are going to be the gold medalists from the tournament earlier in the day, called the Long Beach Open.
Okay.
And each division has a $5,000 cash prize for the gold medalist. So it's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be basically the best in the world. The guys that are invited are the ones that have the highest ranking on IBJJF.com. The event is going to be, again, on December 8th at the Long Beach Pyramid, and the live broadcast is going to be totally free on IBJJF.TV.com.
That's so cool.
So far, there are 6 people that have confirmed that they're going to be there. First one is Tanquinho. We saw him in action this weekend. He's always tough as nails. Second one is Bruno Antunes, another tough guy from Gracie Baja. Romulo Bahal will be there. Samir Chantry, Leandro Lo, who we're going to talk about a little later today, and Otavio Souza. Of course, there's going to be a lot more guys, but those are just the first ones to respond. What are your thoughts on that tournament, Shawn?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for the evolution to, I know I'm jumping the gun, but to have that tournament turn into every weight class like that, hopefully by as it gets bigger and bigger. But I'm excited that they're putting together something that the athletes are starting to get paid, and it's really pretty awesome. And I'm also excited about the points system. So it'll help, I think, people compete a lot more, and it's pretty cool.
By points, you mean the ranking system?
The ranking system,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's interesting to see who's high on that list and who's not. Samir Chantry, super talented guy, but people don't think of him as being best in the world. But he's high on that list because he's competed so much this past year.
Yeah.
Whereas guys like Roger Gracie and Andre Galvao are not in the top 10 because they haven't competed in IBJJF tournaments very much this past year.
And we've said this in previous shows, but it's really cool to have that objective measure of what guys are actually out there performing. So it kind of kills the rumors or the conjecture, right, or the guesswork.
Yeah. A lot of people say it's not right that Roger and Galvao are so low on the list, and I see their point, but all IBJJF can do is see what people are doing in IBJJF tournaments. You can't rank people from outside of that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I really like the ranking system. I think it makes the sport much more professional. It's going to put it into another light. Even we're progressing such a fast rate. They do it in judo. It's the same thing. And yeah, guys like Roger and Galvão, they can still win the world championships. It's like you can still be a world champion, and that's sort of the goal of our sport. But it is neat to give the guy reward for competing and putting their neck out there a lot. So it might give them a little more publicity. Like, hey, this guy's ranked #1 now in the world. It's pretty sweet. Right. Even if someone else beats him at the world, no problem. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I like, too, that there's actually hard math behind it. It's not something of just whim or what someone's opinion is. It's literally you're adding up their points, and this is where it falls.
And one question I had that has recently been answered was that, okay, the first 6 guys in each weight in each division is going to be seated in the tournament. What happens if not all those guys are willing to come? Right. The answer is they go further down the list. So just keep going down.
So it's motivation for people to compete, too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once again, December 8th, IBJJF Black Belt Pro League live on IBJJFTV.com for free. All right, it's that time in the show where we talk about last weekend. It was, in my opinion, probably the best NoGi Worlds in maybe ever. This tournament's been going on for 5 years, and I thought there was a lot of talent there.
Agreed.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think that the divisions were very competitive all the way through, having 3, 4, or 5 guys in each division that could have won it. And so I think that's awesome. Yeah, I think it was probably the most competitive NoGi World so far.
Right.
Would you guys think of it as a 2-day event?
Well, last year it closed way early, and a lot of people didn't get to sign up, including a lot of black belts that wanted to sign up. So that was disappointing. This year was a 2-day event. It seemed a little bit like maybe a day and a half would have covered it.
Right.
But I think it'll grow to fill up to 2 days. But it was definitely still too big for 1 day.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of that where you space it out for the first one over 2 days, and it's going to look less, as less populated or jammed as it would be as a 1-day event. So I definitely agree with that.
Let's take a look at the first match. This one is Shanji Ribeiro versus Joao Assis. These guys fought before. Joao beat Shanji the first time, and his brother Salo. Shanji, even though he's getting older, it seems to be getting sharper and sharper every year.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's looked great this year.
He was solid. He's a super solid competitor. Nice movement. A lot of movement going on.
Joao, of course, specialty being footlocks.
Yeah. Going for the toe hold, but a little bit late.
Yep. Went to ref's decision. Goes to Shanji. I thought that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to be the referee.
Yeah, me neither.
Next one we have up is Bia Mesquita versus Taisa Silva. Bia from Gracie Humaita, Taisa from the Avengers team. I think most people would say Bia was the favorite in this match, but Taisa looked really good.
Yeah, she looked good the whole weekend. She was really beasting people the whole weekend.
She definitely brought it. I remember seeing that in her matches, that she wasn't wasting a lot of time.
Yeah.
Taisa got a penalty for stalling late in the match. We're talking like 15 seconds towards the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't see her stalling myself, but the refs were there closer than I was.
Bia doing a nice job of trying to spin underneath for this knee bar and toe hold combo. There's a nice knee bar.
And in Taisa's favor, that's usually when they come over the top, that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Next one up was Tammy Griego versus Fernando Maia. Fernando Mayo. I was impressed with Tammy this tournament.
Yeah, she did great.
She was moving really well.
Yeah. She, in the open weight, she took down Michelle Nicolini, which is no easy task at all. Like, she doesn't lose much. Tammy looked really good throughout the whole time.
I think she pulled guard almost every match. I was surprised, even in the open where she's bigger than her opponents. It's not something you usually see.
You gotta admire that dedication to a game plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little mistake there, so Fernando Mazzelli comes to the top.
Close match. Then we had Caio Terra versus Fabio Passos. This was definitely the shortest match of the finals. This is a rematch of the American Nationals.
And let it be known that Caio was on fire all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty crazy scramble right here. Like, he's going to zip around to the other side and watch this. Take the back off a deep half guard. And then he puts on the choke as they roll over.
I mean, Fabio's definitely one of the best. I mean, he made it to the finals because he is one of the co-instructors at Cobrinha's gym. But, man, Kyle's just on another level, isn't he?
Yeah. Some guys have their other guys' numbers, like say Fabio's really good. So I think if they fought 100 times, that probably isn't going to happen too often. But like Caio so far has his number a little bit for some fast matches, but I'm sure he'll try to revenge himself.
Right. I saw, how well Caio moved from the deep half guard. So I asked him, were you drilling that move a lot to prepare for Jeff Glover at Metamoris? Because Jeff Glover, of course, being a deep half guard guy. And he says, well, yeah, he was, but he's always been good at beating the deep half guard. Right. And we saw a number of guys in the deep half guard position this year being countered fairly effectively.
Yeah.
Do you think deep half guard is losing its effectiveness?
I think guys are probably just knowing the importance of the counters. Yeah, especially no-gi. It's a lot easier to step around the head and force kind of like a bad head to the outside single position. So it's not as hard to counter, I think, without the gi as it is with the gi, with all the friction and the grips and stuff like this. But yeah, I think guys are doing their homework for sure. Like we say, jiu-jitsu's trend, so deep half guard was around like 2000, like heavy, and people started countering it, and it sort of disappeared for a while and then came back, and now people are countering it again, so it'll probably die down, come back like 5 years or 10 years.
So now it seems like the counters are getting more effective than the attacks. Right. Do you think the attacks could be built up?
I'm sure, yeah. The timing of everything, I think, is the most important thing. So if your timing is good on an attack, then it will be successful or have a higher rate of success. If your timing is good on the defense, well, then you'll have a higher rate of success with that. So I think it's just they both help each other out, build stronger offenses, build stronger defenses.
I wonder if it's a question of utility of guys when the offense from deep half guard comes around. It's going to be guys are choosing it in different situations or better situations for deep half, as opposed to just jumping to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
There's a time and place for everything. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't say that deep half guard is dead. Would you guys?
No. So we could make a joke that oh yes, it's dead.
Right.
Deep half guard is dead. No, not at all.
I'm all about controversy baiting.
Yeah, I like it situationally. I do not like deep half guard, but that's just me. But like I've said before, I don't put that on anyone else. That's just me. I don't like it. But there are some situations where you got to do it.
Right.
Next matchup is Ocean Talverd versus Sofia Amarante. I was impressed with Ocean this weekend.
Absolutely.
I don't remember her too much from previous years, but she looked great.
Yeah, she certainly did.
Sofia was from the Avengers team. Ocean from Strikers Jiu-Jitsu, a team I'm not familiar with.
Yes. No. Me neither. And so Sofia had a nice match here because Oceana was like, man, she was beasting people earlier in the day. So I'm sure we'll see her some more.
Right. Rafael Freitas versus Henrique Hesende is next. Rafael is better known by his nickname, Barata. And Henrique is the one of the instructors at Marcelo Garcia's gym. Rafael always comes out so excited.
He's so exciting to watch.
I remember him at the Pans with Caio and same thing.
Yeah.
Just a great guy in general. So energetic and happy all the time.
Excellent guard.
Yeah.
Henrique got really close to passing a number of times. Never quite passed, but did get some advantages for it.
Yeah, he did a really nice job of shutting Rafael down, pretty much. So he shut him down almost entirely the whole time. Did a really good job of staying ahead.
Also want to mention that Henrique has been without a gym for a lot of training sessions this season. He's lost. They lost their gym 2 times because of flooding. This last time because of Hurricane Sandy, and one time before just from another tenant. So that has to be hard to keep up your level of training, having to move around like that.
Yeah, I would say. Hopefully they were training in their house or something.
Yeah,
right.
Out on the streets, in the park. I don't know.
Next matchup is Anna Libri versus Sayaka Shioda. Sayaka recently had a team change. She was with AACC, now she's with Checkmat Japan.
Sayaka ground this one out. She battled this one out. I remember I was taking photos.
Yeah.
And she got in some bad positions, but she steeled herself and weathered a lot of storms.
Yeah, these two fought. This was their second fight of the weekend,
Right.
and Anna she's just tough, super solid. Yeah, the first one I think she finished her off pretty quickly, and this one
Went the distance.
went the distance, but it was you can see the score 15-0.
Yeah.
Anna looked really good.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Justin Rader versus Cobrinha. This is, as far as I know, the first time they fought. Justin's a great wrestler and jiu-jitsu black belt. Of course, Cobrinha needs no introduction. And it seemed like Cobrinha was going a little light in the beginning of the match.
I don't know. I think Justin did a good job when he was on top to, keep everything at bay.
Right.
All the attacks, all the sweeps. He did an excellent job. But once Cobrinha got onto the top, Rader had a hard time.
Of course, there's a big point spread here, but Justin did a great job of not being submitted.
Yeah, he's tough, man.
Yeah.
He is tough.
We still have plenty more matches to talk about. We're going to take a quick break here. Don't go anywhere.
BudoVideos.com, home of the world's largest selection of quality jiu-jitsu kimonos. Shoyu Roll, Storm, Tatami, Bull Terrier, Venom, and others. Styles from more than 30 top brands in stock and ready to ship. BudoVideos.com. You're only a click away from owning a new gi today.
Next match up is Luisa Montero versus Penny Thomas.
Been a while since we'd seen Penny Thomas in action.
Yeah, and I was shocked when I saw her in the finals because we didn't see her at all throughout the weekend. There's only 2 women in this weight class.
Yeah, and she looked a lot leaner, and lighter. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she went down a weight class. I'm pretty sure. So, but this was a nice battle.
Yeah.
These two. It was kind of all over. Both were going after submissions and.
Yeah, I remember I didn't even see her in the building, and so all of a sudden Penny Thomas appeared.
Yeah, she rolled through, made a little mistake, and left her knee out there, and got knee barred right here. We call this a leg weave. That position right there, and it can finish on the knee bar. You got actually a lot of finishes, and to Penny's credit, once you're stuck in there's very, very little defense except for, I hope my opponent lets go.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of time. I think there was maybe 20, 30 seconds left in the match.
Very few escapes except for hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
Next matchup is probably the most talked about match of the weekend.
Man.
JT Torres versus Tanquinho. This was a rematch. They met up in Boston, where JT won that match. And Tanquinho seems like a very smart competitor. I mean, he knows the rules very well. He doesn't get swept.
Yeah, that was a sick series of takedowns. They had such a couple of exchanges like this one. JT's in on the singles. There's another one that they had that was just crazy.
Now here at the end, Tanquinho puts him in what he calls the crab choke. There's some controversy. Some people think that wasn't a dangerous submission. An advantage is awarded if a submission puts the other guy in danger.
In real danger.
Right. So the jury's out whether that was danger or not. The refs are the ones that are right there next to us. They had a better view than we did, and they determined that it was a dangerous submission. We've talked about the no arm triangle, but that was a little different. He had both hands against the neck. Do you have any experience with that?
Homolo is actually very good with this triangle. Let's put a couple of guys to say. Actually, I think he finished Bernardo Fare with this same.
Isn't his a little different though? Isn't his a triangle as opposed to Tanquinho's?
Yeah, it is a triangle. It's a little bit different, but the same type of concept, same type of position, and Homolo, I know, has used it very effectively in competition. The only thing is where it is. Is it on their face? Is it on their neck? And it's hard to tell. Like you said, the referees had a good view, and that's all that can be said, because I personally didn't agree with the advantage, but I'm not in there, and I don't have that view, so it could have been.
What I want to see is them go again.
Yeah, they have to have a rubber match now, right? Because JT wins, Tanquinho wins.
I'm not saying grudges are good, I'm just saying they're not bad for the sport.
Yeah, that was a really nice matchup. I mean, they were on their feet for maybe half of the match, and usually that's considered boring. In this case, I don't think so. That was exciting.
I was just gonna say, there's more attempts in those little exchanges than in a lot of matches in total.
Yeah, real exciting. Yeah, a lot of high-level takedown attempts, a lot of high-level defenses by Tenquinho. He's got to be one of the hardest guys to put on his back. Takedown sweep-wise, he's just seems like he never falls down, or if he falls down, he gets right back up super fast. So, yeah.
Some of you guys might not be too familiar with Tenquinho. He was out of competition for a while due to a serious neck injury.
Yep.
So now he's back on the radar. He'll be back in the IBJJF Black Belt Pro League on December 8th. So it'd be nice to see him again.
Were there some questions about whether or not he would return? I remember the neck injury being that bad.
I remember it being pretty bad.
Oh, glad to see him back.
Absolutely. Next matchup is Clark Gracie versus DJ Jackson. And DJ is a pretty new Lloyd Irvin black belt. And I wouldn't say diversity is the name of the game, but he's very good at applying what he's good at.
Oh, yeah.
Double leg takedown, smash pass. And look at that, Williams guard.
Yeah.
Clark was doing a lot of Williams guard this.
Yeah, he was. DJ, such a good knee through the middle pass.
Yeah. Did that to everybody.
Yeah.
He did get a wrist lock this tournament, though. That was nice.
That's
to
right.
See.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the wrist locks.
Yeah. Next matchup is Pablo Popovich versus Romulo Bahal. Pablo's a guy that I guess you could call him conservative, but when he sees an opportunity, he takes it, and he does just that. He spent a lot of his time sitting in Romulo's guard, but here, see no arm triangle.
Yep. That's what he does really well, Pablo. And he stays safe in that position, and then wham, he's by your guard. He's very, very fast.
Just like a quick explosive effort.
Yeah, super explosive, super fast, and in very good wrestling skills, so he was able to keep Romulo from coming back to the knees there.
Romulo does get a sweep right in the last seconds of the match, but sweep only gets you 2 points. Guard pass is 3, so it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it goes on his foot and then comes to the top.
I saw Romulo in the stands afterwards, and he was not in good spirits. He was pretty sad about this.
Shawn, we've talked about this a little bit before, but it seems like when guys are identified as people that will tap to a footlock, it's almost like a target on their feet.
Yeah, it is.
We saw Andre Galval submit Pablo with a toe hold at the ADCC 2011. This time, Romulo had a chance to come up early for a sweep, but he spent a little time on the foot trying to get the submission.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that decision was based on the fact that he saw Pablo get submitted before.
Probably some of it, yeah. I would just say some of it. I know that Romulo and his crew have good straight foot locks. They've been working a lot on the straight foot lock. So, but it's true. If you see a guy, he taps the foot locks or knee bars, I'm gonna go.
Right.
Seems that way. Poor guys.
And on the other hand, yeah,
that's a bummer, right?
Right.
Oh man.
And on the other hand, you see guys that just absolutely never tap to foot locks.
Yeah.
Cobrinha, Rafa Mendes, Jeff Glover, Kai Otero, never seen one of them submit to a footlock.
Yeah.
And even though their foot is twisted 180 degrees.
Rubber feet.
Right. Oh. So that just tells their opponents, like, don't even waste your time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's more of a threat in no-gi as well. Leg attacks, I think, in general.
I would say so.
Yeah, I think people tend to go after him a little bit more. Yeah, I would say it's.
Next match up is Tusa versus Rafael Lovato Jr. These guys have fought at least 2 times that I can remember. This match was so close that not a single point or advantage made it to the scoreboard. Lovato was on his back most of the time. Tusa was on top most of the time.
Yeah, nice moves by both guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweep, yep. And almost passed there. Whew.
Lovato's guard is so good.
It is. His guard retention is really good.
Even though Lovato lost that match, I mean, it was a referee's decision, but he's another guy like Shanji that just seems to be getting better and better the older they get.
I agree. he's getting more. I don't know if we would say more solid, but because he's already solid. But yeah, I agree. He's fine. He's really composed in competition. Knows when to turn it on, when to relax, and yeah, I think so too.
I think most people would think that the prime of jiu-jitsu age is in the early 20s. Lovato's 29, but you told us on the broadcast this weekend that you think the prime is, what, 32?
Yeah, I think it's early 30s. Yeah.
Well, look at Shanji and Lovato. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even Hadra was, late in his 20s, or he was in his 30s when he was really dominating too, right?
Yeah, I believe. I'm not sure actually how old Hadra is, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But he must be only in the early 30s right now. Like very early 30s. 30, 29, 30. So, yeah, I believe early 30s for our sport, for grappling, for jiu-jitsu.
Right.
That's the prime. Yeah.
Next matchup is Cyborg versus Gustavo Diaz. Gustavo Diaz is from Gracie Humaita, Cyborg from the Avengers team. Cyborg's always a blast to watch. You always expect to see some nice sweeps.
Yeah.
There's his first one.
And his movements, so nice for a big guy.
Yep.
He moves so well.
And here's the one that most people always wait for in his matches, the tornado sweep. Doesn't quite get it, but it gets a nice variation.
Yeah.
Grabs the ankles, sits up, boom. Gets put in 50-50 where they stay for most of the rest of the match, but it was those two sweeps that got Cyborg the win. Gustavo goes for a late knee bar here, but doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's a Cyborg burying his feet.
Yeah, just counters, turns it into 50-50 again, and that's going to be the end of it.
While facing the scoreboard.
Yeah, watching the time creep down.
Now we got the women's absolute match. This was Bia Mesquita versus Tammy Griego. Again, I was impressed with Tammy's movement. Very dynamic.
Yeah, Bia looked real good on this match. She made one big mistake, though. And I'm not sure. This is it right here. She sat down.
Yeah.
And Tammy had come up from the guard. And that was 2 points, and that's really what cost her the match on the end of the tournament. What she probably wishes she would have done is just stand up, clear out to neutral, and then sit back down.
Right. I don't know if we'll see it or not, but in the end, Tammy really picks up the pace.
Oh, she certainly does.
Yeah.
She goes after it.
Yeah, you can see her now. She's really moving now. Non-stop movement, guard passing.
Look at Rafael going crazy in the background.
Yep. And that's it right there. How she won. She got that sweep to go up, I believe. Yeah. So that 2 point mistake right there was
That was it.
Right.
critical.
That leaves us with the men's absolute. This was Shanji Hibero versus Leandro Lo. What did you think of Lo's performance, Sean? Wow.
Man, I thought he did a great job defensively the whole entire tournament. Offensively too, I mean, but defense-wise, he basically did a clinic on how to defend.
It's not often that you see an ultra heavyweight facing a lightweight in the finals of the absolute division.
Yeah, and Shanchi's an excellent guard passer and came up empty-handed as far as passing. Like, it's unbelievable.
I mean, I would venture to say Leandro looked like one of the better opponents that Shanchi faced in terms of like pure performance. Shanchi did not have it easy at all.
No.
That was a great match.
Yeah, really slick.
These weren't the finals, but a couple other things I'd like to show. One is Lloyd Irvin. A lot of people were curious what Lloyd Irvin looks like when he competes, because we all know him as a coach, not so much as a competitor. But he did a great job this weekend. He had 2 matches. Here's his first match.
Oh yeah, he did a very nice job. 2-on-1 on the wrist.
You can't help but think this is a bit of a put up or shut up moment for Lloyd.
I just think it's nice that he's out here with his teammates,
Absolutely.
competing.
Yeah, super cool.
And this is his second match.
Yep.
Getting the inverted arm lock.
Yeah, mounted Udigatami. Very nice.
So much pressure.
So that gave him the gold medal. And now this is, this is another one of his matches.
Yeah, he hits probably one of the most beautiful Sotogaris right here that we've seen. Real classic. Like, that's the way you do it in a tournament. See, a lot of people brush that move off, but that's the way you do it. You hook and hop, and then sometimes it turns into a Raigoshi or something like this.
Looking like a Kodokan manual.
Yeah.
Great to see him competing out there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And one more highlight, and that is Keenan Cornelius. This is one of the best brown belts out there. He's just been tearing it up lately, getting double gold in almost every tournament this year. He's fighting Majid, who not too long ago moved up from the juvenile division. His dad's a Gracie Baja black belt as well. And Keenan just looks unstoppable.
Yeah.
I remember us asking the question in a previous episode, like, let's see how Keenan does in brown belt. He answered that question.
Yeah. When he had a purple belt, people were saying, give that guy a brown belt. When he got his brown belt, and everyone's saying, give that guy a black belt.
Yeah, he looked awesome this weekend.
For all you guys saying he should have a black belt, he wouldn't even be allowed to by IBJJF rules.
Right, he needs a few more years, right?
Needs a full year of brown
Oh,
belt.
that's right.
Nice Kimura sweep there.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I can tell you from when we had the Lloyd Irvin guys out, they work hard.
Yeah. They don't get here by luck.
No, yeah. They train very hard.
I think this is the match that, I mean, I'm sure his opponent's very skilled, but Keenan appeared to be going very playful. The match lasted a long time. When he decided it was over, it was over. This is Sinistro.
There's a bear trap, but Keenan gets out.
If I'm not mistaken, Keenan actually moved up a weight class.
Right.
I'm not sure if he walks around as a middleweight, but he entered medium heavy here.
Yes, and this is the open weight, actually.
Right. It's a testament to composure.
Yeah.
He's very relaxed when he fights. Very confident.
Super calm. I didn't get to see this one.
Yeah.
I know this one we were busy, so it's really, this looked awesome. Little side like Katagatami here.
That's an interesting angle to finish.
Yeah. You can do this both sides. It's got rear naked choke, an arm in rear naked choke almost. It's almost like what it is. Beautiful.
Oh,
Flying triangle over the guard. That was cool.
if you're on the receiving end of that, you can't help but think it is what it is.
This is the finals of the Absolute Division. This is his teammate, Willie Leonard. And I was watching this from afar, but it seems like they were kind of playing. I don't believe there's a submission here. Although it looks like I could be wrong.
Yeah, I saw this from afar as well. I didn't see how it ended.
Sorry, I can tell you, Keenan worked that half triangle a lot this tournament.
Willie's a big guy to be moving around.
Yeah, big beast.
Yeah. But that's cool that they at least fought and
It's
just
super
didn't
cool.
just close
Right.
out.
Super cool.
From my understanding, Lloyd Irvin guys usually fight.
Yeah, I like that.
I'd even rather watch a flow roll than a closeout.
It didn't look like they were playing to me. It looked like they were rolling right there, like going right there. But I think that's awesome when guys fight in the finals. It's really cool.
All right, let's talk about some new products. First item up, got two items to talk about. One is the Neo Rash Guard. This is a new line of NoGi rash guards called the Artist Series. And this is an idea that I had. I wanted to work with artists to design something a little unique. Rash guards are usually not given the attention that gis get. And for NoGi guys, I wanted to give something that would be a little bit different. So this first one, we got tattoo artist Josh Carter to design some Buddhist deities for the shoulders. I think we have a picture that we'll put up here. It's a long sleeve, and it's $49.95, and it's a limited number of them available. But yeah, really cool graphics on the sides, and I think Josh did a great job.
I picked one up for my lady, and she said from moment one, as soon as she walked in wearing it, people were like, "What's that? What's that?" And just instant crowd. So it definitely striking to the eye. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
We'll have different guest artists every once in a while. We'll release new ones. But again, there's not very many of them available, so if you want one, get one on BudoVideos.com or NoGi.com. One other item that we came out with last week was something to express your love for the sport that we all practice. That is jiu-jitsu, of course. We made the I Love Jiu-Jitsu t-shirts. It's available in men's and women's, black or white, and available on BudoVideos.com.
That's kanji?
Yep, it says jiu-jitsu in Japanese.
Awesome.
Or Chinese. So, Shawn, I understand that you want to show us, you want to talk about Leandro Lo tonight.
Yeah. And more importantly, just the guard retention that he had, and more specifically, the quarter guard, which I call 3/4 guard.
Do you call it one thing on the bottom and a different thing on the top?
No, I always call it the same thing from top and bottom. And the reason why I call it the 3/4 guard is because it's better than the half guard. Like you have more attacks, and you have a better defense from that position. Like quarter guard just doesn't make any sense to me. I know it's just because you got a foot over the shin, but that just makes no sense. Because in half guard, quarter is less than a half. And if I'm, am I correct?
Yeah, the way I always understood is that half guard is usually closed above the knee, whereas quarter guard is below.
And I understand that that's the mentality, but like the half guard, like I'm on you chest to chest, and to me that the quarter guard, or what I like to call the 3/4 guard, you're nowhere near my chest, and it's much harder to pass tight. You can't pass tight. You have to get through the legs to even start to pass. So, just my little thing.
It's a guard 3/4 full kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an optimist. I'm a guard optimist.
Well, I think we have a lot to learn from this stuff. We have a clip here of Leandro Lo. Maybe, Shawn, you can talk about it a little bit here.
So, important, like, when guys are not engaging, you see that top right knee there is doing a good job of staying up and out. So he's trying to keep it between the shoulders there. But you see how he brings the knees back to the chest when guys are not engaging? I see this problem, a lot of guys reach with the legs. He did such a great job of keeping his hip angle. I like to call it less than 90. And now he's in quarter guard. So, see, look at him. He's making Shanji come get him rather than being impatient, reaching with the legs. And now he goes right back in. And he's played this on Shanji Barrows. Like, man, he's got to be one of the best passers in the sport.
Right.
And completely nullified all of the pass. Shanji was only able to get double unders for one real good scramble. And Lo used it very defensively the whole entire weekend. What I'd like to talk about a little bit is how you would transition from offense to defense. Like there's like a whole little system there that you can just bang, 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 just keep on the offense and turn the whole thing around.
Did you see other guys doing the 3/4 guard this week?
I do see it, but I don't see it a lot. I see it from time to time. Like, it's one of my favorite guards to play. You know, Renzo uses this all the time, but it's always been one of my favorite guards to play. I think it's a very good way to stop the pass. But then offensively, there are so many things that you can just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep going after.
Do you think it's underrated offensively?
Definitely, because I think a lot of guys will use it as a defense, and then they'll go into half guard, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can be done right there in that position.
I look forward to learning all this.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it'll be new to me. I think there's one other. Do we have one other clip to show? Okay, I guess that was it. That being said, let's take a look at this on the mats.
Oh, can't wait.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.